Okay, good morning, guys. All right, so I just want to hit this little entry for I guess my diary. I just want to touch on the topic of the Enbridge Gas selling shares on the stock market, and they call it going private. And so there's a lot of confusion um, between the words private and public. Um, when Enbridge Gas is a public company. It's not publicly owned. It's a public company. That means it's owned by the government. And yet, when it goes private, the general public can buy shares in it. Weird, right? So that's where the confusion is, right? They say Enbridge Gas is a public utility owned by the government. When it goes private, the general public can own it by buying shares on a stock market, like the Toronto Stock Exchange, right? So there's the confusion between public utility, private company, owned by the general public, right? So that's where confusion might be. Why do they want to go from a public utility to a private company owned by the general public through shares on the Toronto Stock Exchange? Because they got a lot of debt. I believe they have as much debt as iHeartMedia, about 20 billion, right? And if the economy were a steel box that does not get bigger, right? At this moment, if you envision the economy as a steel box, right? The taxes, you need taxes to pay for the poor, to pay for education, pay for roads, the military, the police, all that stuff. So it's a steel box, right? And it doesn't seem like, oil is low, oil prices is low. There's NAFTA on the horizon, uncertainty. You don't know if there's tariffs coming, more tariffs from the US, all that stuff. So it's not, the steel box is not like a plant that's growing. It's more like a steel box, just boom, like that, right? This is all we got. Right? So Enbridge is got $20 billion in debt, I think, as much as iHeartMedia. And you know what happened to iHeart? It sank, right? It declared bankruptcy. And so it's like, where are we going to get the money, right, to pay off $20 billion? And so by going from a public utility to a private company owned by the general public, when they IPO, everybody knows that term now, IPO. You go to your bank or you go to your stockbroker and you say, I want to buy some shares. And then so you get shares, and in exchange you give them money. And that money goes to Enbridge. And with that amount of money that everybody say, a bunch of people go to their stockbroker, to their bank, say, I want some shares in Enbridge. And he gives you, a certificate, right? A legal document. You own so many shares. In exchange, you give him money. That money goes to Enbridge. Enbridge uses that money to pay off the $20 billion. And so that's why it wants to go from a public utility to a private company owned by the general public. What should they do? I mean, they ran up $20 billion, right? And then they're going to go to the stock market, Toronto Exchange. And then, folks like you and me, general public, can buy shares. And then they get, in exchange for the shares, we give them the money, the price of the IPO. They take that money, they pay out the debt. And then are those people just going to run up more debt? This is not like a household where your parents keep on getting into debt or you keep on getting into debt. This is a company. That means if the managers keep on getting into debt, history is going to repeat itself. And the way they see the economy is that it's a steel box. Because everybody's saying they won't raise taxes. They got to pay for more poverty. maybe even more gun violence. They got to pay for a aging education system. They got to pay for an outdated healthcare system that's experiencing an influx of patients as people age. They got to pay for home care and everything. On that, they're giving free tuition to university, so they're getting even less money now. Whereas before, we paid tuition, right? Subsidized tuition in Canada, but we still paid it. Now it's all free. So not only are they freezing taxes, they got more to pay for. On top of that, this public utility with the same managers, after the bailout, are just going to accumulate new debt. So that's that scenario. They're gonna take it to the stock market, Toronto Stock Exchange. We're gonna buy some shares, give them a one-time cash infusion. They're gonna pay out the debt, but it's the same group of people just running up debts, buying fancy dresses, leasing exotic sports cars.